Hello, everyone. This is Marlene from AAA Appraiser Management Company. Lately, we've been asked several times to get on videos and talk about how the pandemic had affected our work. So I thought it will be a nice treat to have one of our appraiser to tell us and show us about how it is on hands-on affected his work. So we're honored to have David Ziccardi. Thank you so much for joining us, David. Please tell us a little bit about yourself and how long have you been appraising for?
First of all, thank you for having me. Appreciate that. I've been appraising for 8 years now. And I think unlike most appraisers, I didn't have a family business that I kind of came into or anything. I didn't know anyone that was an appraiser, really. I got started when I was in college, actually. My senior year of college, I realized I was a marketing major and marketing wasn't for me. So I started taking appraisal classes my last semester. And then when I graduated, I had my trainee license ready to go right into the profession.
Wow, that's a little bit different. Usually you always have, or you know somebody from your family. So I'm happy to hear that. How has the pandemic affected the volume of your work?
I would say initially there was a big pause as everyone kind of tried to figure out what exactly was going on. And that was maybe a few weeks like that. And since then, it's just been, since the Fed really dropped rates, everybody has been refinancing, and surprisingly, purchase activity hasn't really slowed down either. So it's just been, I can't even keep up. I'm turning down as much work as I take at this point.
What are some of the cautionary protocols you have taken since the whole pandemic started?
So wearing a mask to all the inspections. And I don't ask homeowners to. I don't really think that's my place to. I just let them know that I'm gone, and if they choose to, that's kind of their decision. I do ask that they kind of walk through the house and open the doors and turn on lights for me. The less I touch, kind of the better, especially when early on we thought COVID might be transmitted via surfaces. And that's really, that's kind of the gist of it. There's not a whole lot else that's really changes from an inspection standpoint, I don't think.
Okay, and like how have they been reacting when you ask them, to open the light? And I'm not gonna make sure, do you call them ahead of time and telling them?
Oh yeah, I explain all that beforehand. Hit or miss, I guess. I'd say 75% of the time most people are totally fine with it, and they're happy to abide by everything that I kind of lay out for them. And then every once in a while people are less receptive, I guess. Not that they won't do it, but I kind of have to remind them several times while I'm there. And
okay, wow.
Sometimes they're forgetful, other times it feels a little bit more intentional. But and I'd say maybe half the time someone wears a mask when I come in, but always keeping the distance at least.
That's good. Yeah,
that's the most I can ask for.
Not touching anything. That helps too. Like you're in and out. What is the biggest challenge that you have faced?
Initially, probably just the uncertainty of everything. Early on, you're just trying to keep your finger on the pulse of what's going on. And I really didn't have kind of the technology in place to be analyzing market data, on a day-to-day basis. I was used to looking at things kind of monthly, quarterly, yearly. But when something like COVID happens where things are changing so rapidly, I really need to get a bit more granular with the data and kind of look daily, weekly, because things were just changing so rapidly. So I had to start building kind of my own software with Excel, which I failed at miserably. So I had to hire someone who was much better at it than me. But now I have all the tools in place to kind of handle everything I needed to.
Okay, good. As everything, always in the beginning, we're lost, we're confused, we don't know what happened. And then the more time comes, then, we get used to it, we'll get used to the change and we just sail.
Yeah, I thought all the challenges that were presented ended up being beneficial for my business in the long run, without a doubt, because it's something that I'm going to use going forward, regardless of whether or not we're in COVID. So
okay, yeah, that's good to hear. This is good. So that's the good thing that came out of it.
There's been a surprising amount of good things that have come out of it. I'd say that was one for sure, and probably the biggest thing I think was just the fact that I had to pause to begin with, because I have a tendency, like I think a lot of appraisers do, especially appraisers who are single appraiser shops, to just work morning to night to try to make everything happen that they can. And when COVID happened, I couldn't. I had to pause. I had to take a break, and I was kind of forced to relax for a change, which was really, really nice. And I have a daughter at home who's 15 months, so I got to spend a lot more time with her than I probably would have otherwise. And I was really grateful for that. Made me want to prioritize kind of my mental health going forward, and just prioritizing, really just reprioritizing everything and kind of put things into perspective. So that was probably my biggest benefit from it all. Just a different kind of perspective going forward, that I don't want to kind of fall back into the way I just worked like a madman all the time. So
absolutely. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, like it gave us some time to think and pause and, make some action. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. I mean, I think it's really, really nice to see, instead of just us talking as an AMC, like to hear appraisers, what are they facing? How are they dealing? And what's happening on their end? So really appreciate having you. Thank you so much. And we enjoy and love working with you as well.
Likewise. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you everyone for watching us. Please share and comment. Let us know, what would you like us to talk about? Bye-bye. Have a great day.